Hello, twinners. Today I want to talk about what I have deemed as the greatest love story ever told. It comes from Luke chapter 15, 11 through 32. Now, the story goes as there was a father who had two sons, and his youngest son came to him and said, he wanted to get his inheritance now, meaning that he wanted to get his inheritance before his father passed away. So he came to his father and he said, "Dad, I want my inheritance now while you're still living." And the father said, "Okay," and gave it to him. And the son took his inheritance, and according to the King James Version, it says he spent the money on riotous living. Riotous living means that he spent the money on right now gratification. And as he went far away where he spent the money, and there came a famine in that land, and by this time, as I said, he had spent all the money and he had to go out and get a job. So the job that he was able to get, because jobs were scarce, obviously, so he got a job feeding pigs. And as he got this job feeding pigs, he himself was starving. However, he was not able to even eat any of the husks that he was feeding the pigs, because he was so hungry and he wanted to eat some of the husks. But the word said that he was not able to partake in even the husks in which he was feeding the pigs. And therefore, as he was starving and probably heard his stomach growling, and he said to himself, the word says that he came to himself, meaning that he came to his senses, right? And he said to himself, even the servants back home at my father's house eat better than this. They have great food with plenty to spare. So if I go to my father's house and I say to him, "Dad, I know that I ran off and spent all my money, but at this point, I know I'm not worthy to be even called your son. But if you will hire me even as a servant, I'd be glad to serve you." Now, the word says that as the father saw him coming afar off, that the father began to have his servants gather the fattened calf to be killed for a feast. And he said, "Quick, get the robe to place on him and get the ring to place on his fingers and get sandals to place on his feet." And so upon the son seeing the dad, he said to his father what he had thought about when he was hungry. He said, "Dad, I know that I'm not worthy to be called your son anymore, but if you will hire me as even a servant, I will work for you, I will serve you, and be glad to do so." And the father instead said, "Son, come." And he placed the robe, he had the servants to place the robe on his son, place the ring on his finger, and place the sandals on his feet. And he let the feast begin, as they had already killed the fattened calf so that they could have the feast. And he let the son know, "You, my son, were dead, but yet you come and now you live." He said, "You were lost and now you are found." And he received him as a son. And the son was grateful for that. And now his brother, who was the oldest son, heard all this hoopla going on with the music and there was music and dancing and all kind of carrying on going on. And he said to the servant, one of the servants, the hired help, he said, "What's going on?" And they said, "Oh, There's a feast going on, a great celebration. Your brother who was dead is now alive, and who was lost, and now he's been found. He's returned home, and he's now serving your dad, and asked to serve your dad. And he was like, what? He lost it. He was like, oh no, I'm not even going to that party. He said, I'm not going in there to a party to celebrate this loser, so to speak. I'm paraphrasing. And he refused to come inside to join in the celebration party. Well, when the dad heard that his older son was outside refusing to come in to join in the party, he went outside to his older son and said, son, why aren't you coming in to join in the celebration party for your brother? And he said to his father, the older son said, Dad, I've served you, never left. I've worked for you and served you well. And yet you've never given me even a young goat to go celebrate with my friends. And yet this son of yours, when he comes back after spending all your money, you want to give him a party celebration. And the father said, son, all that I have belongs to you. But yet this is your brother. He was lost and now he's found. He was dead and now he's alive again. He's living again. So the father urged him to join in. And he the word doesn't really go any further with telling us whether the son joined in or not. But the reason I say that this is the greatest love is because the test was not for the son who asked for the love test, that is, was not for the son who asked for his inheritance before his father was even dead. It was for the father. Because can you imagine your child coming to you while you're still alive saying, can I have my inheritance now? Then on top of that's not that bad because they may need the money. However, to find out that this joker took the money and spent it on riotous living. In fact, the brother even said he took your money and spent it on prostitutes, is what the word said that the brother accused his brother of. And just thinking, your child comes to you for the inheritance, you give it to them, and then they go off and spend it on whatever. In today's world, we might say getting high, right? But anyway, that kid does that and then comes back broke and broken with nothing and asking you for a job and being humble and apologetic and saying, I'm not even worthy to be called your son, but I will serve you, And the father, the test was for him to receive the son back because, the reasoning mind would say, no, I'm not gonna, I may welcome you back, but I'm not giving you a celebration party. I'm not putting shoes on your feet. I'm not putting a ring on your finger and clothing you with the finest robe. I'm not doing all of that. However, I will hire you back to work for me as a servant. That's what a parent might say. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I see it as the father's love being so great that he looked past all of that. He looked past all of that and he loved his son anyhow. He treated his son as the older brother said, in some ways better than he treated him, who had never left and went away and squandered any money or, just been a royal fuckboy, in my opinion. Nevertheless, as I said, the real test of love was for the father, not for the son, because the father gave grace to the older son as well and pointing out to him that, yeah, you were here all the while, and you never left, but all that I have belongs to you. So it wasn't about who did what in terms of the work. That was clear. What it was about is the father's love for both sons. Because one son got his inheritance and ran off to do what he wanted to do with it. And the other son basically, had an unforgiving heart, you see. So the father loved them both. So that's why I call it the greatest love story ever told. Now, for those of us twinners, us that are on that twin flame journey, some of us have been told by spirit, even before our twin ran off to spend time with others, rather than spending time with us, we were told that they were going to do that. And we were told that they would return to us broken, and we would and that they would serve us. And we were told that we were to receive them back with welcome arms. And now that is from grace, that's from love. Because see, the thing of it is, love is true unconditional love is a gift from God. That's not something that we can just go to the corner store and pick up. It is a true gift from God. So some of us have been given that love test via our twin running off, and doing their thing wherever with whomever for as long as forever. I guess in divine timing they return, but we were told ahead of time, as the word says, the Father saw his Son afar off, and he prepared these things for him. And some of us have been told, I'm not saying we've been told to wait on anybody, but we've been told to know that it is in divine timing. And as we move on and live on in our own lives, and go on, we have been told the ultimate word is to forgive and to love, not because of, but in spite of. So I would like to know in the comments, if you guys would put it and put in the comment section, what has Spirit told you as it relates to your twin flame and their return. That would be interesting to share. So like, subscribe, and if you care to share, but definitely, as I said, put it in the comments, and let's talk about it.